All right, good afternoon. Today, we're going to talk about Power of Innocence, right? Power of Innocence, that book review. And a couple key takeaways, from the title. And so I guess I'm going to go ahead and start with this one particular story where, like the general idea with this book is keeping the you have a mind of Christ. You have the mind of Christ. Okay, over and over and over. If it's one thing that I've caught wind of and have implemented in my life, speaking over that existence, is I have the mind of Christ. Now you have control over the certain things that are going to pollute that, pollute it, dilute it, whatever you want to call it. All right. One particular story that we were talking about. Or in the story in the movie theater. Okay, back Kayla and Warren were dating, and he looks over and she's crying in a particular scene where there was death and destruction going on. All right, now however you package it, it's death and destruction. That's what it is, and she's crying, and I can only just paint myself into that picture and think like, what, man, what did this is Kayla you're talking about, Warren. I can't believe you did that, But that's not to like put you up on a pedestal, because I respect you, I love you, but there's no doubt in my mind that there's more time, and in our last embrace, I remember feeling just the peace on you. All right, there's peace all over you. If I can get rid of these bugs here, man. But that's because you're always in the Word. You're always renewing your mind. You have the mind of Christ. We all have the mind of Christ. We've got to choose to, right? But what we also need to be very conscious of is not having the rest of the pollution come in, all right? You talk about the Disney movies, right? There's that scene in Bambi, and I remember, like, with my girls, didn't really understand the impact of that, but I do remember when our 6-year-old Rosalie, she heard the gunshot and she put it together real quick. Okay, death happens. Death happened to Bambi's mom. Okay, so now at that particular point, she learned that, and it was fairly disappointing on her end, right? So now our job as parents and brothers and sisters, it's now our job to make sure that we're and this is all the takeaway from the book, right? Is now our job to make sure that we are not stumbling blocks. We're not tearing other people down, and we're not a source of pollution for others. Okay, keep it pure. Okay, back in the SLTI, the video training, there's one particular scene where there's this girl, and the power of God just was flowing through her. She didn't know any different. She just knows that her daddy told her, something's going to happen. Then it happened, right? So, in a nutshell, this book, okay, there's a ton to be learned from it. But guarding your mind, okay, your eyes, your eye gate, your ear gate, what you're listening to. These are things that are very, very important, and if we're not mindful of this, we're going to go ahead and dilute the relationship. Now, the good news is, okay, is not a somber video. Okay, we know that the anointing is new. His glories are new every day. It's just our choice to get in there. Pray in the Spirit and make sure that we're renewing that relationship daily. So there's my takeaway from this one. Really looking forward to the next book that I'm going through right now, and should have a report on that one here in just a couple days.